So, welcome back. Now it's time for ITMADD. Now this is the segment where we introduce you to new cutting-edge technology or ways of using technology to better ourselves. Today, I'm actually going to introduce to you a method that hopefully will help us to go from 67 cents in every dollar going to debt to maybe 30 cents. What we're going to be talking about today is what we call crowdfunding. Now, what is crowdfunding? Crowdfunding describes the process of raising funds from a large cross-section of persons, usually over the internet. What the crowdfunding platform allows you to do is to sit at home in your comfort and create a presentation that best represents you and represents your project. You could also get assistance from friends, family members, and you create a presentation that represents what your project is all about, what it will do. You then put this on the crowdfunding platform, the website, and invite persons from your social media from across the world, as much persons as you can get the message out to have a look at it. And when they look at your presentation, if they are convinced of the value in your project, then they will be able to donate. Now, one of the questions you might ask is, okay, if you need money, why not just go to the bank? Why crowdfunding? Crowdfunding because, one, you need funding. Two, the traditional method is red tape riddled. Yes, red tape riddled. It involves banks, business plans, meetings, loan officers, and often results in a no in any case. So now we have looked at what crowdfunding is. We have looked at why you would want to be using crowdfunding. Now we're going to look at who should be using crowdfunding. And really and truly, even though I'm going to list out 3 cross sections, it goes way beyond that. So the 3 main groups that would actually be using crowdfunding would be entrepreneurs, startups, and small businesses. However, even if you're an established business and you need to raise funds or raise capital quickly, efficiently, seamlessly, without a lot of red tape, then crowdfunding is a platform that you can venture into. So how does crowdfunding work? Crowdfunding uses internet, social media, and a crowdfunding platform or website to get the funds from the investors to the projects or the individuals or companies that require funding. People who believe in your project or your activity will donate, and depending on the model of the crowdfunding platform that you're using, will get some sort of reward at the end of the day. Crowdfunding has 4 categories. Now these are donation model, pre-order model, reward-based model, and the one that we're most interested in, which is the equity-based model. Now in a donation model, what happens is that an individual finds a cause or a project that they believe in, and they do make small donations using either credit card, PayPal, a wire transfer, whatever method the funding platform has that you can send payments or donations to the project. There's also the reward-based method, which is a combination of both, in where investors get to help, but in addition, they get access to the finished product before everybody else, or they get access to the service or a special form of the service. In this case, it is a win-win for both parties because the person who has a product or service gets that, and then the person who invested gets the, what you would call it now, the clout to say that they were among the first. That leaves us with the investment equity model, which is the one we're most interested in. Now, this model actually is one of the more complicated models because once you venture into the realm of getting involved in giving returns in terms of monetary returns, then it becomes more of a legal and tax and needs to be regulated to ensure that persons are slighted and these sort of things. But in essence, how it works is that compensation equivalent to their contributions are provided sometime later, usually when the company becomes profitable. So individuals would invest in a company who they think has a potential to become very profitable, and when the company does get profitable, they would receive some sort of return from that company. So we want to implement the crowdfunding platform. In this stage, one of the issues that they had was the equity model. With the current laws, it didn't allow for that sort of platform. And what Obama and his administration had to do, they went in and they looked at the current laws and then they amended them to enable the equity model of the crowdfunding to prosper. They implemented the Jobs Act, and since they have done that, they have seen a 300% increase in the number of persons using the equity-based model. The Jobs Act had a few stipulations. For example, it said that investors whose net worth of annual income was 100,000 could only invest 2,000 US or 5% of their income, whichever was greater, per year. It also said that investors whose net worth was greater than 100% can only give 10% of their annual income. So it limits the amount of money that any one person could invest in a company using the crowdfunding platform. It also stipulated that a company can only sell to investors through a middleman, which would technically be the crowdfunding platform. This helped the crowdfunding platform in the States to balloon into a $1 million industry, where you're looking at 565,000 startups being launched every month and 6,780,000 new businesses per year. Anybody who does economics will tell you it is the small businesses that drive a country. Big businesses don't. If you don't have small businesses, the country will suffer. We are suffering. What we need to do is to take a look at this Jobs Act and see what laws that we have applies and then amend them accordingly. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to adjust the wheel and the shocks on the bus to our local road conditions. Now, as I understand it, there is one local company which has ventured into crowdfunding. We will continue to monitor them to see where they're at. At the time of this airing, the site was not up and running as yet. I will be, in the coming weeks, checking with the entity who has ventured into the crowdfunding to see what kind of assistance they offer to persons who have projects on their platform, how it is you get on the platform, and what kind of assistance, if any, they are able to provide in navigating the bureaucratic red tape that exists in Jamaica whenever you try to do business. Even during this show, our cameraman was indicating that he needed $23 million to upgrade his equipment. Now, that is the perfect opportunity, or that is where crowdfunding comes in, because that presents the opportunity to say to all of Jamaica, okay, I need this amount of money. You can help me by donating $1, $10, a Pepsi. A Pepsi is now $90, depending on where you buy it. A lot of places it's $100. For $100, if 100,000 persons donate $100 to this venture, then he would end up with $10 million to buy equipment. Then you can go to him and say, when your next movie is produced, I am entitled to 95%. Now, I don't know where he learned his maths, but if all the persons require 95%, he doesn't have any shares. But anyway, that is the power of crowdfunding.